Hey everybody, how's it going? Really quickly, I just want to mention first off that I have some very bad allergies right now, and so I'm all clogged up and congested, and that sounds a little funny. And also keep in mind that I'm recording this in my dorm slash apartment slash I have roommates and the walls are thin, and I just don't want them to think that I'm talking to myself. But I think the only one that's here is asleep, so that's good news. But so I just want to share this story that happened to me yesterday because it just kind of reminded me of like these are the kind of things that I used to do on my YouTube channel all the time. I would just like whenever I did something, I'd be like, oh, will at least it'll be a good commentary. Or for like, oh, if I don't really want to do something, oh, I'll make a good commentary. There's actually a point where I was like going out and doing things just to make commentaries, just so I could actually tell a story, and things like that. And so I just kind of like thought that now that something like I did go out and do something, like yesterday, it was just something that I thought I would share. Like, this doesn't make sense, but like, oh, this was something that I would have shared back then. So I just figured I would share it with you guys now. So I was just bored out of my mind, and I text someone up. I'm just like, hey, what are you up to? I'm bored. I just want to get something. I just want to do something. And they're like, oh, well, right now, hold on. Anyway, sorry. And I was just like, yeah, I just want to do something. And they're like, hold on, I'm with this family thing right now. When I'm done with that, I'll let you know, and we'll go over, and we're gonna go to this person's house. We're gonna go to do this. And I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. I just want to get out of the house. And so eventually the time comes, and I get to this person's house, and he's like, oh, by the way, we're gonna go over to so and so's house. Where I don't know where it was, and I didn't actually know this person too well because everyone's at so and so's house. Now the brand new information to me was that we were going somewhere else to so and so's house, and so I just thought that I was just gonna be able to come and go as I pleased to this thing. So we get in my friend's car, we drive to this person's house, 20 minutes away, and we get there, and I immediately don't want to be here. Just these people one person that I'm pretty close with or familiar to, or I guess so to say I'm comfortable with, and two people at someone else's house that I'm not comfortable with. And so we're just like sitting there, and there's bugs all around, and I get freaked out by all these bugs all around, and so then eventually we go to the like the back of the house to build this fire, and this guy that he's just an idiot of a person, and he's like trying to build this fire, and what he does is he's just taking like little little kindling, just a little bit of it, and then they're throwing some big shit on there, and then what they're doing is they're just dumping like lighter fluid and oil and like motor oil, like black thick oil, and they're just dumping it over the fire, and they're just burning all these chemicals that eventually catch the wood on fire, and that's what they call fire. And it was just weird, and they're all doing this, and then eventually it starts to rain, and we have to go inside, and we go, and we're like in this big like man cave room, and it's pretty cool. And then let's see, everyone's getting the hankering to do some kind of other substances, and so one guy makes a call or a text or something like that to someone, and we end up all of us getting in this car, in a Suburban, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people right now, and we're in this Suburban driving around. We're driving like 20 minutes back to the main part of town, and we're picking substances up and whatnot, and we're coming back, and they're like, oh, cool, this guy, this dealer of many different substances, threw in some gummies. Here, throw the gummies at me, I catch them. I'm like, oh, awesome. And I'm like, oh, wow, they're really sticky. There's a lot of like goo or whatever, and it was kind of like the gummies were kind of like Gushers, except if the outside wasn't all in the outside, it was just all over, and that gushery stuff, like that liquid, was all over. And so I'm eating those, and they're like, oh, whoa, shit, that might have been the wrong gummies, and they're trying to freak me out. They freaked me out for a little bit, and so we're still in this car, keep in mind, and and then he's like, oh, we need to get some blunt wraps. Oh, we need to get some blunt wraps. So they pick up some blunt wraps. We make it back home. Back to this guy's home. And they roll a blunt. And then they're like snorting, I think, like Klonopin. And I'm like, holy shit. Like I didn't plan to do any of this. I just planned to be like I was told there's a fire. And I thought I was just going to, at the very, most, just like smoke some weed and sit by the fire. That was my plan. And then, so then they're like, hey, so you guys know this Klonopin. Come on, you gotta go do it. And I'm like, I don't really want to. But then, they convince me. I do it. And then, they're all kind of peeking out now, and then we start up this big hookah. And we do actually like 2 full bowls of hookah. I'm not really a nicotine or tobacco person, so I didn't really do too much on that. But it's still, I passed around the hose and stuff like that. And then eventually we ate some food, and then eventually they put on The Purge, and I got me and the person that drove me there. We drove back to that person's house, and I got my car, and I came home, and I didn't get home till like 3:34 in the morning. So yeah, it was kind of like a longer night, so to say, that I wasn't really expecting and getting to. It ended up much better, but one thing that really interested me and kind of interested me and the other guy for like the whole 20-25 minute car ride all the way back to where he lived, we were talking about The Purge, because that was the movie that's on, and I don't know what it is, but ever since that movie came out, there's just been something so like captivating about The Purge to me, like. But I don't know why. I'm very anti-Purge is the thing, but at the same time I have that like zombie apocalypse type brain, where I'm always like thinking like that would be like any kind of like doomsday scenario, like, oh, I didn't know these people were purge hunters. Like purge hunting, like that whole type of thing kind of is like an amusing thought that I think of from time to time. Like the classic one is traditionally like, what would you do in a zombie apocalypse? What would you do if you're the only person left? And I think now it's becoming more of a like, oh, what would you do if the purge happened? Right now, I think it'd be cool to talk about what my purge plan would be if the purge happened right now, and I had, like right now it happens, and it's like somehow it's just like a surprise purge. Like that's the scenario. It's a scenario that the purge is gonna start like right now, and I didn't know it was gonna happen, and so like I'm not ready or I'm not prepared. My plan right now is that I think I'm gonna try to, first thing first, I'm gonna go kill my roommate. Only because I can get away with it now. And I also have the ulterior motive of getting his car keys, because I'm sure my car has a lot less gas than his does. I'm just assuming, but I just know how much gas I have in my car, and I'm assuming that most people have more gas than I do. So I would get in his car, and I would drive as far as I could, for as long as I could. And I would kind of try to stay off the highway. I would, mainly just kind of drive, I would just drive away. Because if I don't want to get on the main road, and because I don't want to get caught up by some cartel out in the highway, so I would just kind of drive away from populated areas. And I would just kind of get as far away from people as I could. And I would just kind of try to hide in the woods for like the night. And I think that would be my plan. I don't know why people think going out and trying to kill someone to purge or go purge hunting or something like that would be fun, because everyone's killing everybody and the chances of you dying are high. And I just don't think that would be worth the fun at all. I mean, I would totally purge if there's no possibility of me dying, but if I could die, no way, I'm out. But anyway, that's just kind of something I guess I wanted to make a commentary about. So yeah, that's that. I'll see you guys later.